Welcome to Between the Cracks, in episode 5 of season 2. Join us as we chat with managing broker Wes Atiyeh, exploring the future of real estate and his passion for charitable work. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Between the Cracks podcast. I'm Madden.
And I'm Matt.
And today we are talking with Wes Atiyeh, a managing broker at Joyner Fine Properties.
Yes, Wes is talking to Scooter today. Have known each other for quite a while and enjoy the rather long conversation that I had the fun of cutting down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. No, I bet.
But I mean, the whole thing was interesting, so it was hard figuring out what to leave out, but I think we got the most important stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I know that Scooter has a tendency to talk to his friends for quite some time.
And it's always fun. It's fun to
It
watch.
is. I love when Scooter gets to talk. Wes specifically requested Scooter for his podcast host. So we got the week off.
That's right, we did. It was kind of fun. So Madden wasn't even in the room for that one.
No, I was gone. Okay, let's go see what Wes and Scooter talk about.
All right.
Well, Wes, thank you for being here, buddy.
Thank you.
Known you for a long time.
Very long time.
It really has been. I mean, it goes back to when you were at another company a long time ago.
I would, yeah.
And your mother ran that company.
She ran an office.
She ran the office in that company. Yeah.
But I'm a little biased. I think she saved that company and ran it for a lot of years. Did a great job.
She did.
Yeah.
I always got along very well with her.
She was very interesting. When she was my broker at one time, I didn't start with her as my broker.
Uh-huh.
Tom Holloway was my original broker. And then
Can we talk about Tom?
U of R Tom?
Oh, yeah. I got some stuff on Tom.
Oh, everybody's got stuff on Tom, but you better watch it. He's got stuff on you.
I know. That's the bad part about that.
He was a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Good guy. Well, he still is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
I still see him occasionally at some realtor functions
Mm-hmm.
and or University of Richmond functions.
Right.
So he's good.
Yeah, not quite as mobile as he used to be. But
No.
Yeah, he's a good person. He's one of the
Great
good
personality.
ones out there. So.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Wes. How did you get into real estate? Did you one day wake up and you were like the fourth grade and say, I'm going to be a realtor? Because I know your family was very involved with it, but
Yeah. So growing up, my dad was a doctor. My mom was a mom until I was in probably about fifth or sixth grade. So it was about 76, 77, my mom got into real estate. And so technically I was in real estate at that time because back then they didn't have a fax. They didn't really have fax machine. They really didn't have computers. So I was with my mom riding for showings, delivering contracts at 11 o'clock at night, all through high school. So, and that was kind of an interesting way of getting into real estate, or at least getting my feet wet.
right.
However, my passion was sport management.
Okay.
After going to college and then going to graduate school, University of Richmond, your alma mater, was with the Atlanta Falcons in '92. Had a great time and would still be in sport management today if I could. But that's a tough business at that time.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't where it is today.
Right.
Like when I look at front office personnel, it's like in the hundreds. Back then it was like 40 or 50.
Right.
Totally different game changer right now. But after working for a local company, building products company here in town for 3 years, I saw the writing on the wall that my hard work was not paying off from a profitability standpoint. So I decided to go into real estate. And it was no pressure from my mother or no pressure from anybody else. I had my license. I got it between college and graduate school just to have it. And I decided to go into it. And it was, let me see, that was 94, 95, and made $12,000 that year.
Oh, that's big money.
That was big money. Fortunately, I had a very low mortgage, and my mom and dad lived nearby, so I was fed well.
So like when we first had our first house, we were in Gum Spring.
Yeah.
And we tried to sell it. It was
Couldn't do it.
1978. Interest rates were 19, 20%. So that was very interesting.
Yeah. I remember those times. My mom was selling real estate when it was 18, 19, 20%.
Right.
And there was a lot of creativity with seller financing and holding notes and things
Right.
of that nature. Totally different than it is today.
Yes,
so
it is.
when agents today see 7, 8%, they're like freaking out. Like, no. There's not a 1 in front of that.
Yeah.
You have no complaints, right? Because we're all spoiled because we saw, 2.5, 3.
Yeah. Which is not good. It wasn't, at least in my opinion, it wasn't good for the industry.
No.
It just artificially set there. That wasn't a natural thing, I don't believe, was it?
No, it was. The good thing is, or the good and the bad is 2008 through 10, we went through that depression or the downfall in the market.
Remember it
and that
well.
had a lot of reform to it, like a lot of financial reform for lending. And so with that, with the way that rates went down, prices went up, we were able to sustain that. So, but before, literally, anybody and everybody could get a loan. But what happens is not everybody can pay
Pay
off
it back, yeah.
So in today's market, it's totally different.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll continue to rise. But again, it's always like a roller coaster. It's going to go up a little bit. It's going to come back down. It's going to go up. But we're not going to have the sharp rise and the sharp decline.
Good. Yeah. Well, I'm hearing, I was at a thing the other day, and they said that, because it's been a little slow around here, a little challenging from our point of view, and I think from y'all's point of view also. But this guy was talking about, he was from Utah, brought a speaker in, and everybody's got their opinions, but seemed to be pretty smart. He said what they're looking for is when it hits 5.9, 5.8. He said it's going to be a big psychological, not crazy, wrong one. Change a lot of mindsets just if we see 5 again.
Right. Well, if we see 6, the closer we get to 6, a lot of forecasters have said once we get to 6, there's a pin-up demand. There are in the biggest group are people that love their rate at 3, but don't love their house.
Right.
So why am I going to move at 3 to 6.5 to 7 or 8? But I don't love my house, right? So I'm going to stay in the house I don't love. But once those rates get to 5.9 or 6, then they're going to.
I'm gone.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Right.
And that would increase the inventory.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. The only thing I warn people is the only way we're going to correct our inventory is if we have Armageddon.
Yeah.
Because in certain markets, like the market that I'm in, West Hampton, near Libby, Grove, and that University of Richmond area, a normal market there is 120, 130 homes rolling on the market.
Right.
Right. They're coming and they're going, 130, 120. Right now we have like 13 or 14.
I started to say 14.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
And that's why we'll never have, I don't say never, but that's why getting inventory on the shelf is going to be tough. And then we're going from a very seller's market to a buyer's market. And that's going to take a lot of things to happen in between.
That won't happen overnight.
And I don't think it'll happen overnight, but it could, but hopefully it won't.
Yeah. Well, I think, the rates come down.
Yeah.
Builders keep building more and building more. I think that will help a whole lot. I see you're a member of the Virginia Association of Realtor Hall of Fame.
I am.
Who'd you pay for that?
A lot of people.
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that.
And that is there's pros and cons to that one. The pro is it's a great honor, and I'm humbled for the fact that I was inducted in the Hall of Fame. And a friend of mine from Roanoke was also inducted at the same time, Mary Dykstra. And when you're inducted, it's one of two things. One, it's your colleagues think very highly of you. And two, you've been in this business way too long.
For way too long. Which one was yours?
Mine was I've been in this business way too long.
Way too long.
Yeah. No, I've done a lot of work. It's a lot of things you have to do for that. It's not just longevity in the business,
Right.
but it's giving back to the business. I've been on the board of directors, not also locally.
Mm-hmm.
I was president back in 2006, but went through the ranks prior to that as well, and then moved on to the state. Was on the state board for 12 years. Last year was my last year for 12, and then been an NAR director. So I've been involved and I've given back to the industry that's been very good to me.
Right.
And that's something that was told to me at an early time in my career, to always give back.
Well, you had good examples.
Well, I had very good example.
Yeah.
I mean, the office that we were at, where my mom was a broker, a lot of people in that office not only gave to RPAC, but they also volunteered
Right.
on the local association. So it was good, and state. So
Well, I think no matter what you do, is everybody's. I think it's everybody's obligation to give back, whether it's to what you're doing or to the community, or whatever. And I don't do enough. I need to do more than what I do, but I think it's everybody's obligation to do that.
You feel so much better when you do give back.
Yes.
Whether it be to your industry or to charities, whatever the case may be, but you always feel better at the end of the day when you felt like you've done something.
You've helped somebody.
That's helped somebody else.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's always a philosophy that we've taken over the years, or I've taken over the years.
What do you think about all this, the lawsuit going on with NAR? How's that going to change the landscape? Or is it too early into this to tell?
Yeah. Not having the vested knowledge of everything that's going on in there. I do know it's sad in our business that lawsuit happened. It's sad that if it's true, we had some sellers that didn't know what the process was. And that's on the agent's fault.
Correct.
Right? And I've always been an advocate that our agents need to know professionally how to explain the listing agreement, how to explain the contract, the purchase agreement. So when they ask a question, you can answer it and sound knowledgeable, and confident in what your abilities are. And unfortunately, in our business, with 1.5 million realtors out there, there's a few that don't really care about the rules, right?
Well, I think I agree with that 100%. I've seen that. I mean, it's the same way in my trade. We have good inspectors and we have bad inspectors.
Yeah.
And the ones that are good try to stay educated, try to keep up with what's, because my business, just like yours, has drastically changed.
Big time.
When you get ready to leave, I'm show you my first inspection report I ever did. I got it set out there in that little place out there. It's really cool.
Was it on carbon copy paper?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And you could barely read the third copy, which you gave the agent.
Oh, no,
I remember
I give the agent a bad copy, yes.
And if you rub it the wrong way, you'll never know what it was.
And no, that is not what I said. Let me tell you what I said.
That's not what I said. I got the original right here.
Yeah.
I think that the industry with the lawsuits, it's going to have a change for the agents in the way they think, the way they interact with the seller, and also with the buyer, their value proposition. I think there are going to be a few agents that leave the business, because whenever the economy is going great and the housing market is going great, everybody wants to get into it.
Right.
But
easy money.
It's easy. They all think it's easy. It's not. It's not easy. We are independent contractors, small business owners, and we have 180 small business owners at our firm. And just like you're a small business, that you're always looking for ways to grow, and you're never stagnant, right? And you're trying to expand into different markets, or expand your portfolio of tools that you provide, services you provide. That is the same concept that every real estate agent out there has got to prove now. And now they have to come up with, it's not just slap a sign on the door, sell it in a weekend, and you're done.
Right.
Or taking a buyer in your car, seeing 5 houses, and show them. You're going to have to prove your worth, and buyers are going to understand that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and if you're not growing, I mean, if you that man behind the curtain over there, if you're around him, he doesn't move slow. He likes to go. make change, do different things. So
I'm same way.
yeah. Well, I love your office down there. I had a tour one time, and what sticks out to me is the coffee machine.
Yeah, so
I like your coffee
yeah, that
machine.
got me in trouble. As a matter of fact.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did. So I gotta give credit to where credit is due. John Stone, who hired me, who's our president of Joyner, and he let me choose the agents that I wanted to bring over and recruit and hire. But he also said, "Hey, John, I want this cafe to be different. I want bean to cup. I don't want prepackaged stuff. I want bean to cup and all that kind of stuff." He says, "Go ahead." So I looked at it, and he actually showed me a coffee maker that he saw at a meeting that he was at out of town, and he allowed me to pursue that, in which I did. And I will tell you right now, every office that we have, almost every office.
Now everybody wants one.
We have two at our headquarters at Reynolds Crossing. We have one at Maple, and we have one at West Hampton Commons, and it's a good cup of coffee. I will be more than happy to give you a cup of coffee anytime you want. And
so there's such thing as a free cup of coffee. That's free. What about free lunch?
There is a such thing as a free cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to you in a Joyner mug.
Oh, man.
You want a latte or French vanilla latte or cappuccino?
Black.
I got black.
Yeah. Fresh ground coffee, I don't think it's anything better.
It's beautiful.
It smells so good.
Yeah. And the good thing is it makes my agents happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it excites them when they come in, and they enjoy it. And it's a way that they gather around the
coffee pot.
The coffee pot, literally. And we talk in the cafe, and we collaborate, and we do all kinds of good stuff. I wish I could have a business meeting in there. Mm-hmm. But the way it's set up, it would be kind of tough.
Bring it into the conference room.
Yeah.
Well, nice
I can't bring the coffee maker to the conference room because it's connected to a water line.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great idea, though.
Yeah.
I like it.
We just have those stale old K cups.
Yeah, I didn't want that. No. And if somebody doesn't like coffee, we have tea with a French press.
Oh.
We got that.
I might have to come back over there.
There you go.
And check it out.
There you go.
But now, switch gears again. What do you like what do you think a good inspection company looks like?
Oh, Burgess Home Inspection, for sure.
Told you I wasn't looking for that, but I'll take that. Don't cut that out.
No, I would take. There are a lot of good. There are a lot of good inspection companies.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
As we discussed, there's a lot of good realtors, a lot of not so good realtors, and in any business, you're going to have pros and cons. An inspection company needs to have inspectors that are, one, reliable,
mm-hmm.
two, knowledgeable,
mm-hmm.
and understand building components, and three, maybe are not alarmists.
Mm-hmm.
They understand how to explain the defect or the concern or the issue. And then an inspection company that offers a gamut of services. You do radon, you do sewer scope, which is big now.
That's really taking a life of his own.
I bet. I actually have a client that has a river house, and we just had dinner last week, and they were telling me that their river house is on slab, and their septic line is lead pipe. Septic line is lead pipe.
I don't know if I've ever seen a lead septic.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's broke, so now they have to
put a new one in.
Either have to break up the concrete in the house or do something exterior around the house.
Is it broke so bad they can't reline it?
Yeah, I guess. And they can't reline it. Yeah, They can't do that as well. But they said, but I think it's a matter of providing all the services in your toolbox. And I love the way that you took on inspections in a little different manner.
Mm-hmm.
You did the walk and talk when we were going through a period of no inspections.
Right.
And then giving discounts when they buy the house and they come back and they want to do a full inspection.
Right.
It's kind of like a nice thing to have. When you move in, it's kind of like a survey. You know where your property lines are. Well, your inspection report gives you all the detail of the things in your house that you either need to pay attention to or you're good.
Right.
So I like all of that.
All right. Well, Wes, sort of wrap it up. Have you got a favorite charity that you'd like for us to give a little donation for all your time and your insightful knowledge that you had? I never knew you were so smart.
Well, thank you. Favorite charity? I would say favorite charity, we have several. So talking to you before, we have a community outreach committee at Joyner. We do quarterly events, and we provide charity and volunteer efforts and donations to a variety of charities. Feed More, Housing Families First, Caritas, and Habitat.
Right.
There are so many good charities out there. Also, I'm involved with a charity that deals with youth tennis in the area. There's, I would say, well, Feed More or Housing Families First.
Okay.
Anything like that really has an impact. The dollar amount that you provide has a greater impact on the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that'd be great.
Consider it done.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, Wes, thank you so much for this. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
I
Thank
really
you,
do.
Scooter.
And I'm going to come by and get that free cup of coffee.
You
sometime.
come out anytime you want.
Cool.
Door's always open.
We want to thank Wes for coming and talking with Scooter, because I know that's always fun to witness, and I'm personally very excited to hear everything they had to say, because again, I was kicked out of the room very rudely to make a call. So
she was not kicked out, Richmond. She walked out.
I had to make a call. But no, I'm sure it was very fun to listen. I know both of them are so knowledgeable about their areas of expertise.
Yeah, we really appreciate Wes coming on. I know he's very busy, being a managing broker, and as he has stated in his interview, how it's very important to him to make sure he takes care of his people. So, I can imagine that being a time-consuming thing with as many people as they have over at that office.
Oh, absolutely. So while we have your attention, we want to give you an update on the food bank drive we've had going on for months now. We did a really big push at the holidays, and now we're doing our second main phase of a big push again to try and get food donated for school-age kids who during the summer do not have a reliable source of food, for the food bank so they can have mobile areas where the kids can come and get things for breakfast and lunch if they're not getting those from the school like they would during the school year.
Yeah, so the food bank is doing a big drive to bring in food, take care of these kids. So, we are going to try to do our part to help out with that. So if anybody is hopefully having an inspection scheduled soon, please bring any extra food you might have in your pantries, non-perishable goods that are unexpired, please. You can take them to your inspections. You can bring them by the office. You can call us, and we can come get them from you.
Absolutely.
Whatever it takes, but we want to do what we can to help these kids.
Yes, and so for the kids right now, they're really focused on like breakfast and lunch foods, but obviously they accept any and all foods. If you do want to see a list of what they're currently searching for, you can go to our social media, and there will be a list posted. So you can follow along with that and see everything that we have that we're currently really looking for.
That's right. So help us out, Richmond. Let's get it done.
Let's help the kids.
That's right.
It's for the children, Matt.
That's right. Who was I saying it was for?
And then the other thing, I don't know if we've even mentioned it on the podcast before, but something we've seen a couple of get a little bit more popular is that pay at close option that we have, because it allows people to be less stressed at their inspection period. That's right.
If you have somebody they have to be a buyer, right? Buying a home, and it can't be new construction. We have to have some limits on it because we have to be able to pay at close.
Yep.
So if you have a buyer who is looking to get a home inspection done and they are stressed about the cost of it or anything like that, or if they're curious about their air quality or their radon, which is part of air quality, sewer scope, any of those types of things, all those things can be bundled up and they can do a nice pay at close at the end so they don't have to worry about it.
They don't have to worry about their credit card or anything affecting their ability to apply for that mortgage or get approved for the mortgage. It's a really great option that we've seen a couple people take advantage of, but not nearly enough. I think more people out there need to.
Yes. And to just answer probably the biggest asked question we get on this is what happens if they don't buy the house? So in that case, there is they do take a credit card. So if the house isn't bought, then they could still collect payment on those services. But otherwise, there's nothing to worry about. They just pay it at their closing date.
Very easy process.
Yes, it is. It's actually very simple to do. No extra paperwork to fill out or anything like that. It's just a click of a box on our end. And when they do their agreement, a couple extra answers they got to make in there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. No, that's a great option that I think will really help some buyers this spring when the spring
I wish I
market
would have had
hits.
it. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
So I definitely wish I'd have had that. We were stressed about different things. I mean, because when you're selling a house and buying a house particularly, there's so many things you got to do and so much money that you got to spend on so many different things. If we had one less thing to worry about, it would have made a big difference for us. So
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank Wes again and thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. We want to remind you to please like, follow, and share all of our social media, and especially to check out that list for the food bank.
goodbye.
Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to the Between the Cracks podcast.